is. So let's get going. I'm going to go ahead and share a screen. And I am going to ask for a lot of your patience with me as a newbie user. Okay, so do y'all see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, welcome. We've got a kind of a brisk meeting to go here, and we'll go through a few formalities first. This is our first all-district Zoom meeting. I do hope that it proves useful and valuable, and that we will be able to use this going forward for district communications. This is a district meeting, so if your club takes makeups and wants to consider this a makeup, let's do it. And we did this, we did the four-way test on both of our practice sessions yesterday, and it worked fair to middling, but rather than a call and a response like some clubs do, let's just read it to start the meeting. So the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill?
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Concerned.
Okay, kind of sort of worked. Tech tips. So just a few things. We did have a little bit before we got started with Bruce and folks on the phone. So I want to point out some things. So the chat box, participants list, raise hand, and gallery view. So if you look down on your screen, I'm going to try and stop. There we go. Patience helps. So if you look down at the bottom of your screen, there's some, you might have to toggle on the screen. There's some icons below. So if you go to participants, it's in the middle. We have 44 participants. If you click on that, and this is for folks only on a desktop, or maybe an iPad would work, a tablet would work. You'll see a list of participants on the side. I want to invite you to just kind of scroll through those and see if there's anybody from your club there, because I'm going to run through the clubs and ask for status updates here in a moment. So if your president isn't online and you are from the club, if you would just briefly give a quick status update, I'd appreciate it for your club. The second thing is chat. So again, if you go back to your video screen and you look at the bottom, to the right of participants is chat. And if you toggle on that, you can have both participant and chat windows open. You will see where you can go over on my screen, it's to the right. That's where you can chat with folks offline or actually visible to everybody. So Bruce has already chatted to everyone. He's talking about the phone controls for the mute and toggle. So if you're on the phone, *6 is toggle mute and unmute. Excuse me. And *9 is raise hand. So for those of you who are online, if you go down, there's a little blue box that says everyone. With a down arrow, you can click on that arrow and you can choose an individual person for a little bit more of a private chat. So let's see, we have participants chat.
Here, yeah.
Sorry.
I think I'm going to mute everybody else but Ina.
Thank you, Nicole. So you can unmute yourself to.
So Ina, you'll need to unmute. Ina, Ina, can you unmute, please?
Thank you. Tricks and tips. So Nicole, would you unmute yourself and would you notify me if somebody has their hand raised?
Yes.
Thank you. Or if there's chat that I need to know. So let's see. If you go back to your video screen and you go up to the top right corner, you'll see there's another toggle switch. It's speaker view or gallery view. I'm on a Mac, so there's a grid there. So you can toggle between those and choose which one you prefer. You go back and forth. So let's see, we will go back to share screen and go back to the meeting agenda if I can find it. No, I can't find it. There it is. Thanks for your patience.
You're doing good, Ina.
Thank you. Well, it says it's not supported. Dang, wonder what's up with that. Well, anyway, I'll try one more time.
What is it you're trying to do?
I see I'm the only one eating. How can we have a Rotary meeting without food?
I know, it's virtual meals. Okay, so
Yeah, I'm eating, Lauren.
I think I'm running into a problem with Keynote not being supported or something. It was on before. I don't know what happened to it. Oh well. We will proceed without it. And I'll work on it as people are updating. So the first part, I wanted to spend a brief amount of time going through the clubs for a status update. And I will call the clubs by alphabetical order. Downtown, you are down in the R's because your official name is Rotary Club of Downtown Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So be prepared to raise your hand and untoggle, I guess.
Can you hear me? I unmuted me.
You unmuted yourself?
I did.
Okay, so yes, be prepared to unmute yourself when you go. So the first one up is Aberdeen, and what we would like to know is, has your club regular meeting been suspended? Are you using video conferencing now or planning to? And what other ways are you keeping in touch with your members? So is someone from Aberdeen on?
Yes, can you hear me? This is Kelly Ecker.
Hi, Kelly. Yes, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. So I am the president for a few more months. And anyway, we have suspended, or we have canceled, I guess, our meetings. We initially started off just canceling one and then another. We made the decision to cancel through Easter. So our next Rotary meeting is slated for the 20th of April. We have not instituted any video conferencing. And the other question was in regards to, what was the last question? Short-term memory loss.
What other ways are you staying in touch with members?
Oh, email. We've been emailing members back and forth. So, and that's kind of our thing to do, I guess, with meetings and preparation for meetings and whatnot. So we just continue doing that. We've trained them to read their emails. So.
Okay, great. Thank you. Brookings.
Good morning, everyone.
Yes, we have suspended our meetings in Brookings, where we have our location, has been locked down, so we can't use that. Form of communication right now is email, and I'm definitely interested in maybe starting a Zoom meeting in the next week or two, or whenever most convenient for everyone. I don't think
Great.
we'll have everybody on board, but if we can get some, I like Lauren's idea about eating all together, so.
You can do whatever you want. It's your meeting. Candy. Canton. Centerville.
Yeah, Ina, this is Rich Burns. And I was wondering, should assistant governors actually bring up if they have information on those clubs and those clubs aren't online? Because I do know about Centerville and Scotland and Tyndall. So if you would
Yes.
like to hear.
Yes, please do.
Okay, then with Centerville, they obviously met at the senior center, and the senior center is closed indefinitely. So at this point in time, they are not meeting, they're communicating by email. And what they're going to do is at the start of April, they're going to see if things can kind of resume as they are. If not, they will go ahead and find a different location if the senior center doesn't open anytime soon. Otherwise, what they'll try and do is do the Zoom meetings and things, but right now they are communicating by email and probably will stay that way till the very beginning of April. So that's Centerville.
Okay, great. Thank you. Cherokee.
Can you hear
Clark.
me now?
Yes.
Cherokee's
Hi.
here. Hi,
Hi, yay.
hello. We decided at our meeting on the 16th that we would not meet for the next 2 weeks. We are communicating via email, and then I will try a Zoom that first part of April, April 6th.
Perfect. Thank you. Clark. Custer. Denison. Gettysburg. Gregory. Hot Springs. So I can report on Hot Springs. We have suspended our meetings and we are not using video conferencing. And as far as I know, we don't plan to be. We're not really communicating. It's just an informal network. Waiting to see, we've suspended our meetings for two meetings. Next week will be the second one, and we'll hear from our, excuse me, president via email. Lamar's.
Yeah, good morning. We have a long-term policy with snow days, so whatever the school does, we do. So we've suspended our meetings as of last week. Yesterday, I tried to have a Zoom meeting with my board of directors, which was moderately successful. And today we plan to have our regular meeting with Zoom. I mean, today we'll have a regular meeting with Zoom at 12:30, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, good luck with that. Again, it's a learning curve, and ask your folks to be patient with you. Madison. Mapleton. Marshall Noon.
Marshall Noon is here. I'm Matt Peterson, and I have suspended the meetings for sure 2 weeks. I'm attending this to try and figure out the viability for our club to use the Zoom stuff. We'll see if that works, and also to get a time frame maybe of what other clubs are doing. I would expect that in the next, I'll be continuing communicating via email. That's the way we've been doing it, just the mass emails out of Club Runner. And it's been a good way to get information to each other, but I do expect that meetings will be delayed even further, for sure the next couple of weeks. I just haven't made that determination yet.
Yeah, sadly, everything I see looks like this might be a months long rather than weeks long. Marshall Sunrise.
Marshall Sunrise, this is John D. Kramer. I am not the president, but listening in mostly to see how this Zoom works and see if there's something we can use for our club. The YMCA where we usually meet is shut down, and so we lost our meeting place for the time being. So we'll see what happens here and when the Y opens back up, and see how this Zoom meeting goes.
Great, thank you. Mitchell. Mobridge. Pierre, Fort Pierre. Rapid City Noon. Rapid City Rushmore.
Hello, Ina. It's
Hi.
Gene. How the heck are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty groovy.
Cool.
So the Rushmore group, we have suspended our meetings through this month, and we'll reconsider. The board will look at that in a week or two, see where we go from there. We have had one board meeting via Zoom that went very well. After that, we communicated with the membership via Club Runner, what we talked about at our board meeting and what we were looking for in the future. And then we'll be getting another email out via Club Runner asking the committee chairs to look at their committees and their activities and what they would like to do when we come out of all this.
Great, thank you.
Ina,
Yes?
this is Larry. I couldn't talk. I couldn't talk when I tried to talk when you called for Pier Fort Pier, but somebody muted my mic.
What's your update?
Well, we've suspended meetings. We've suspended a fundraiser, and the board met, I think, telephonically last week, and we're suspended indefinitely. But they're doing some planning to try to figure out or decide how they're going to proceed.
Okay, great. Rock Valley. Scotland.
Oh, yeah, Ina Rich again with Scotland. Basically, according to Julie, they are basically suspended meetings indefinitely at this particular point in time. Two concerns. One is the age of the membership of that particular club, which I would totally agree with. And second is her own personal situation where she works for the assisted living center. So Julie says that she'll keep in touch for things that are going on, and that's about where it's at. So I was going to follow back up with her and see if there's anything I can do to help. So that's Scotland.
Great, thank you, Rich. Sibley.
Yeah, John Schneider here. I don't think anyone from Sibley is on. If they are, I apologize for stepping on their toes. But they have, like everyone else, suspended their meetings for the time being. And are kind of working with email, but that's it for now.
Great, thank you. Sioux City.
I know they posted something on chat.
Okay, well, I'm sharing my screen. Can y'all see the
They
screen?
say that they have suspended meetings until at least April 13th, and our president is considering other meeting options. That's what she wrote in chat.
Thank you.
Also, Mitchell had posted there as well. So they're on, but she can't speak. So
Okay, what's their status?
she didn't say, but
Okay. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
This is Susan from Mitchell. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble navigating. We are suspended indefinitely. The place that we meet is closed, and we will continue sharing information through emails. At this time, we don't have any indication that we're going to be meeting by email or Zoom, but I'm hoping in learning how to navigate this, that might be an option.
Great, thank you.
And Ina Peg Wonder from Mobridge says they're here, but she can't get off mute, that they're going to meet Monday to collect foundation tickets. Otherwise, they suspended meetings.
Okay, perfect, thanks. Sioux Falls North. Sioux Falls South.
Ina, this is Bert. I am pleased to report that we had our first meeting via Zoom last night. We had a good discussion. One of the outcomes is we decided to continue to meet through Zoom. So we have a speaker from the Helpline Center scheduled to present next Monday. And our club decided that we were going to reach out to the banquet in Sioux Falls and volunteer to help them out because they're in extreme need of volunteers. And then instead of having presenters, we're considering using that time for service in our community to make a difference at this point. So,
great.
Or have presenters speak to our meeting. So, Mary Devaney is our club president. We had about half of our club on the line. We meet at 5:30, so I think everybody but one member had a beverage in their hand, and it was good for us to get together.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I'm interested to hear what you have to say on our next segment about community service. Sioux Falls West.
Yeah, Lauren Boyens here. So is somebody else on?
I jumped on, Lauren. I'll get back off.
No, go, Tracy. Go.
Okay. We met as a board last week via Zoom, as everyone is, and we are officially working on figuring out how to do Zoom effectively for our members, because we think that we have a group that will be able to navigate that. But we haven't. I don't think it's going to be ready for Friday, but it will be for the next Friday. And I just want to commend South. That's really awesome what you guys are doing.
Thank
It
you.
helped us. Our club president is in telemedicine working around the state. So Mary's a good resource for that technology.
Perfect. Thank you.
Let's jump in with what downtown Sioux Falls is doing.
Oh, yes. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so our meetings are suspended until April 6th. Our first meeting, we are going to have Jamie Wood of the SBA, and we are going to do it. We have a studio available to us, so we're going to go Facebook Live. So we would encourage any club to jump on. We'll be sharing it, and we're going to encourage our members to. So we think we've got the technology to live stream that, and we're going to take questions from businesses. Our downtown club is made up of mostly business owners, small business owners. And so we're hoping we can answer questions about, for them, about best practices going forward, how to get the necessary relief that's being offered to them. And so that's really, we've kind of just done a whole pivot. Everything's going to be online. And we're going to do, we've got probably the next 4 meetings lined up for April. And our board met yesterday via conference call, and this is the strategy we put together. We confirmed our speaker, Jamie. We confirmed the studio. And so we're just going to do kind of a fireside type meeting and yeah, do our best to stay in contact with all our members. We're going to use a free text messaging app in addition to Club Runner to communicate. So.
Okay, great. Thank you. Spearfish Northern Hills. Thought I saw Tyre on.
I thought I did too. This is Dana Eberhardt. And we suspended meetings after last week's meeting. Our next scheduled speaker is April 22nd. Unfortunately, our Bingo Brats Beer and Polka fundraiser was April 4th, which has been postponed for now. We do have a board meeting scheduled on Zoom for tomorrow. And we had talked at our last week's meeting about using our meeting times to do community service. One is with a Club 621 that is packing meals in downtown Spearfish for all the kids that can't come to school and who are dependent on school lunches. Another thing we did was one of our members is the administrator of Spearfish Canyon Healthcare, and she said her clients are isolated, in their rooms. And so we bought them puzzles for now. But yeah, we're looking for projects that we can do during our meeting times. That I'm also interested in this Facebook Live and also in learning enough about relief efforts that are offered by the government so that we could serve as a resource for our local businesses. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Tyndall.
Yeah, Ina, Rich Burns again. With regard to Tyndall, they have suspended meetings through April 4th. And then after that, they were going to go ahead and see how things were going to go literally week to week. And I'll get back in touch then with Sandra and kind of see where things are going with those guys. But right now, I do know that their meetings are suspended until after April 4th.
Thanks, Rich. Vermillion.
I did see.
This is Dave. I don't think that Vermillion has any plans to meet until, I don't think they plan to meet in the month of April. They've lost their meeting location. There has been some email communication amongst the officers, particularly about the raffle. I'm going to do some inquiry after this with some of the officers about if they have plans for Facebook or Zoom, because it seems to me like a great way to keep in communication.
Thanks, Dave. Wagner. Watertown.
Good morning. This is Heidi from Watertown.
Hi, Heidi.
Our president, Sheriff Brad Howell, sent out an email sharing that he is canceling this week's meeting and reevaluating as the time goes on, but he's guessing it'll be a long-term thing. And he's encouraging everyone to keep in touch via email. And if we have any concerns to share with the club, to let any of our board members know.
Great, thank you. Winner.
Hi, Ina, can you hear me?
Yes, welcome.
This is Casey from Winter. Currently, we're suspended for a couple weeks and we're just kind of communicating via email. There's no plans on anything else at this moment. I might play with this Zoom a little bit more and see if I can get our club to do a little something like that. And then speaking to Wagner and Gregory, at this time, I have not had any communication with them. I've tried to reach out, but haven't heard back. So I don't know what their status is at the moment.
Okay, great, thank you. Last one, last but not least, Yankton.
Yeah, this is Daniel, President Yankton.
Hi, Daniel.
We are going on a week-by-week basis as well. We canceled our last meeting. We'll probably cancel the next couple for sure. I don't know the tech savviness of our group too much, so I don't know if we'll be doing any Zoom meetings going forward. It's something me and Rich will probably talk about. Our big fundraiser, or our big event, which is the Yankton bike helmets, where we give helmets to all third graders. That's on postpone. I know we're still giving them helmets whenever they reconvene again, but we're not doing the big group meeting like we have in the past, unfortunately. And we did gain a new member a couple weeks ago through all this crazy stuff. So that's one positive out of this. But as of right now, we're not planning on Zoom meeting, but we're staying in contact via email.
Great, thank you.
Ina?
Yes.
Peg from Mulbridge is on, and she chatted and has a question. They are collecting foundation tickets for the raffle, and she's wondering how that might be handled in the future, and their meeting has been suspended.
Okay, great. So there are a couple of things about the raffle. We're working on a new logistics. Keep selling tickets. We're probably going to have a place where you can mail your tickets in. And then we're also considering extending the deadline to June 1st. And then we will take the raffle tickets, do the drawing. We might do the drawing on Zoom, you know, so people can see, so it's transparent. We'll see. This is still in flux, but the raffle's still going on. Keep selling tickets, and I hope we'll be hearing some more definite procedure in the near future. So, club status.
Hello.
Hello.
I know this is Paul from Sioux Falls North.
Oh, hi.
Just
just wanted to report in. Sorry I couldn't get the mute working before, but
Great, thank you.
like everybody else, we've suspended our club meetings and board meetings. Talking with Shelley to try and see if we can do Zoom for our club meetings. Otherwise, keeping in touch with our members through Club Runner emails.
Okay,
Thanks.
Thank you. So yeah, keeping in touch is so critical. You know, Paul Harris started Rotary as a networking, you know, fellowship thing. So the base mission of Rotary is connection, communication, and I think we just need to really find ways to do that to our clubs keep their members connected. So the next thing is purpose. The next primary purpose of Rotary is, of course, serving our communities. And so what I'd like to do, and this I didn't have a really plan for how to proceed other than to have a freestyle conversation. And I'm not sure that's really appropriate. The way I see it, there's kind of two ways to do it. You can raise your hand, Nicole can call on you, or we can do the roll call again. What's your preference?
Let's do the hand raising and let whoever wants to speak can speak. I don't think you need to do the roll call again.
Okay, fair enough. So Nicole, are you on? Let's look at hands. And I hope
just real quick, before you jump in, I'd say if you're on the phone, remember *9 will raise your hand.
Thank you, Bruce. Good point.
And we have
Ina.
Yes.
Ina, this is Dan. One other thing that people could do is they could hit the chat, and we can just monitor that if someone's trying to talk.
I can't see it though. I can't see chat when I'm sharing. So that's what I want you to do is if you speak, I want you also, if you can, to write something in chat so we can capture that later. Just doesn't have to be a long dissertation, just some stuff. So I'd like to hear best practices in serving your community, what your club doing now or planning to do, and what are your needs in your community. And you know, there's special populations like healthcare workers, the other essential workers might need errands run, education, and that's both kids, the littles in your community. Are they scared? Is there a project you can do to help bolster their spirit? Public health education, hand washing videos. I've heard some things, but what are you doing? What are the needs, and how can we do it safely?
I know we have Darla.
Darla?
Yes.
Hi, Ina and everyone. This is my name is Darla Beal, and I'm from Brookings, and I'm the executive director of a youth serving mentoring program. So I have a lot of thoughts on this topic. Right now, there are a lot of immediate needs, such as food, diapers, mental health support. I mean, a lot of immediate needs, but I would also encourage clubs to think long-term, because of the long-term ramifications of all this are going to be pretty devastating. For example, I heard from another executive director that works with foster care families that she's hearing that there's so much stress right now in families that some of the foster children are being, they call them failed placements. So they're being turned back to the state. So there's just a lot of long-term needs. So in addition to like thinking short-term, what can we do right now in the crisis, I would encourage everyone to think long-term, what can we, is there a nonprofit or is there a project or a service that we can adopt as a club? And then the other thing I would encourage everyone to do is, rather than us coming up with an idea, visiting the helplinecenter.org, which I believe is available statewide, or you could call 211, which I believe is also available statewide now, or mostly statewide, I should say. I'm not for certain that it's statewide, but call 211 and kind of see what needs the nonprofits have posted already. Another option would be to call your local United Way, because while we're still trying, all the nonprofits are trying to serve their own constituents that they had been serving. Now we're all getting a lot of new needs, and it's a little overwhelming to then at the same time be approached by people who sincerely want to help in the crisis, which is wonderful and laudable, but then that just sometimes creates another thing to manage or thing to solve. Is like, okay, now we have a group of volunteers. How do we best deploy those when we're just trying to figure out how to proceed? So think long range with the project, and then rather than just coming up with an idea on your own, maybe reach out to United Way or 211 or helplinecenter.org and see what needs are being posted.
Great, thank you very much. I do want to mention that we are recording this, right, Nicole? And it will be, we will post it on the web for further review. And we will be looking at this and trying to decide how the district can help facilitate clubs helping and jumping in. So great advice.
Dave has his hand up.
Hi, Dave.
I think you're on mute, Dave.
I said something on chat, but it's not about what you're talking about now. I just was asking for clarification as soon as possible on if we're extending the raffle.
We are, most definitely. We have the district leadership meetings this evening and Thursday evening, and Steve's going to update us, and I imagine we'll get more specific information out soon.
I don't see any others. I'm not sure how to. Daniel, would you like to?
Yeah, so we don't have anything planned as of right now, but I did reach out to a teacher in the Yankton School District and basically told them we're on standby to help financially or with volunteering to help get kids meals. I know, and they said that they've got it covered right now, but I would assume if this extends for a few months that they will need some help. So we're kind of on standby for that, since kind of our club mission is to focus on the youth in the community. I'm also thinking maybe long-term, if and when this really hits South Dakota, all the nurses and doctors with families are going to be hard-pressed to get meals done at home. So if maybe we could come together as clubs and maybe even just bake, some hot dishes or things like that, and find a way to get them to nurses and doctors who have families like that, because I know they're going to be extremely stressed and probably not able to make as many home-cooked meals as normal.
Great, thank you.
Lauren?
Yes. Darla, thank you for your insight from your lot in life. And I'm wondering, in keeping in mind social distancing, et cetera, I wonder what the thoughts would be about our district collectively putting together or for encouraging each club to collect some money and make some distributions accordingly to organizations identified through some thoughtful manner. Not that money can cure everything, but I'm really struggling trying to think what we can do in Sioux Falls as respective clubs or collectively, and not violate regulations that are now in place, and maybe to just have dollars that we could give to those professionals who are doing this work every day, and they just need more resources. I just throw that out there for conversation.
Okay, interesting. I have scanned some emails coming forth from Dan's governor class within the district and within the area about a project, and they're looking for money. Dan Little, have you followed that? Do you have any information? I don't have enough to share.
Thank you, Anna. Am I off of mute?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Didn't want to talk to myself too long here. This is it turns out to be very, very interesting from North Central Pets. And at North Central Pets, it was held over in Rochester. One of our speakers was Dr. Ashok Patel from the Mayo Clinic, who's a pulmonologist and respiratory doc at Mayo Clinic. And so he delivered the intro information to us. We were working on an hour-by-hour basis at that point as to whether or not to hold NC Pets. And there was coordinated effort by Olmsted County, the state of Minnesota, Mayo Clinic, all the Civic Center, everything in terms of how we would handle this. But out of this, we have my DGE class is already gotten quite close through the new Zone 29, which is North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, Iowa, portions of Wisconsin, and Nebraska and Kansas. And not only will you be hearing more about an anti-human trafficking movement among almost that entire area, but now we're working with some of the same people that helped to plan NC Pets to get an information project out just in helping people understand resources and how we can connect that, and will be website driven. Let's see, I probably need to email out to the group later. There's a site in the UK that's been used, and let's see if I have that. No, I don't have it up here. But anyway, we're looking to primarily look at education, get facts out to people. One of the beauties of working with Dr. Patel is I've been able to get him in contact with Dr. Jane Christopher Hennings, another Rotarian that runs a diagnostic lab in Brookings. And we are sharing techniques on how we might be able to test oral fluids instead of just swabs, because this coronavirus is similar to what we've dealt with in pigs over the last 5 years. So there's a lot of crossover going on, not necessarily direct to how we feed children in a community, but if we can help people to get facts so we're not dealing with opinions and know this is not going to go away in 2 weeks.
Great, thanks. So Lauren, there is something going on. That might be something that the district would want to do. There might be other things as well. So thank you for your suggestion, and we'll definitely be talking about it.
Bert, do you have something?
Yeah, I just wondered, Nicole, if there was any way that you could assist clubs with information or help in setting up Zoom meetings.
I think we're going to talk about that. If anybody plans on staying on after the call, we have a few tools and items to share. Is that correct, Agna?
Yep.
Yes.
And then Lauren, to your point, the Sioux Falls Area Community Foundation has set up a fund where people can donate money to be used to address needs related to the virus.
Thank you for that reminder, Bert. That's correct. Yes. And that
Actually, this is Jesse. I'm going to follow up at a request from Andy Patterson at the Sioux Falls Area Community Foundation. We heard that there's some conflicting information. So if your clubs are interested in getting some confirmation on how to get people to get some relief from that fund, rental assistance is what we've heard a lot about. I'm happy to reach out to you guys when we're done.
Thank you.
Dave? I think you're on mute there, Dave. You have your hand up?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
Bob? I see you have a chat there to everyone. Did you have anything else on that?
All right. So I'd like maybe a little discussion on how District 5610 can assist your club in navigating this new environment. So again, communication and purpose. So I've heard some ideas. Any others? One of the things that we do have a Facebook page. It doesn't have high traffic, but you can navigate Rotary District 5610 and find it on Facebook. That would be a good venue for sharing ideas and best practices among ourselves. I encourage you to use that. We also have a YouTube channel. I do not use YouTube very much, so I haven't dipped into there, but it's another source for keeping together. So future meetings, I was kind of planning to do this weekly with a much shorter status update, a few tech tips for Zoom, and then a program. So since we canceled the district program, almost all the speakers that we've contacted are willing to present via Zoom to us as a district. And so I'm thinking we could run a 30 to 40 minute program over the next few weeks through April, once a week, to help keep us together, moving forward, keeping the district in contact with clubs, and also providing some program information. So some of the programs are like volunteer fatigue. I think that would be a good one. Starting new clubs, innovative clubs, new club models. These are from people outside the district with different ideas. Inside the district, we have some membership and foundation stuff we can do. And then our host project, our partner, John Rubelid, is willing to talk about the white clay maker space. And then we can do lots of things, but we do have several programs we can schedule coming up if you think that's a good thing to do. I was really shocked at the results of the survey that over half of the people selected morning as a time, and I was stunned. And there isn't always people. There are people that can't make it. So I'm wondering if you could write in the chat. Again, what time of day, and be specific rather than morning, afternoon, evening. This might be too early for folks. I picked the morning time thinking people would get the meeting done and be on their way with the rest of the day. Should we rotate meetings? So if you go ahead and type into chat, we'll gather that kind of information for our next ones. And so here we are with Zoom resources. We have a few minutes left in our meeting if we go the full hour. So Nicole, take it away.
I think Darla had a question. Jesse, can you let us know what that free texting app is that Downtown Sioux Falls is using? I think you're on mute there, Jesse. Well, I think we can't.
Okay, third time's a charm. I'm unmuted now. Yes. As soon as we find out what that free texting app is, I'll be happy to forward that. I'll get it to you, Nicole, to distribute to everybody.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you.
Nicole, this
yes.
is Lauren.
Yes.
Is it okay to speak? I lost the ability to raise my hand. I don't see. Anyway, would it be possible, or see, if I was a club president or a club leader, my anxiety level would be really high to introduce something like this to my club because of ignorance. And I wonder if the AGs and club presidents could somehow come together for a learning workshop, maybe led by you or whomever, to hopefully see how relatively simple, and I've used that word cautiously, the process could be, even for the majority, I suspect, of their club members. What do you think? I don't know. I just I'm afraid of the technology, even though I like to stay a little bit current. But is there some more hand-holding that district could do for our club presidents?
I agree, and I've been pushing that all along because I'm the people that are on our ad hoc Zoom rollout are technical people. They know stuff, and so I'm challenging them and say, hey, I did not understand a word you said. And so I'm at the level where, you know, you have to go through the widgets and step by step. And the hand holding, I understand that, because when Nicole sent out resources and it said 1 minute video, okay, maybe I can do that. 38-minute video, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can watch a 38-minute video and not understand a word they say. And so the emotional level went up, and I was fraught just with the thought of it. So I really, really understand that, and we will be continuing the discussion. Thank you, Lauren. Thanks for backing me up.
So I know that this is Bruce. I've been through this, you know, now for the last 3 years with the grant training and getting people on. We're going to have our first general club meeting today with Zoom. The standard copy and paste invitation that comes out of Zoom, I've had feedback that it's intimidating, and when I try to put on a layman's hat and look at it, it is. So I modified that for the one that went out to my club today. If that works better, I will share that, because we have, I would say the average age of our club is 70. Would you say that's pretty close, John? You know, so it's not exactly going to be a terribly tech savvy club, I don't think. And we'll see how that goes. But it's one of those things where, you know, when people aren't used to it, it takes a while. But we had a family Zoom meeting Sunday with my new 3-month-old grandson and over the family, and I sent the invitation to my parents and my father-in-law. My parents managed to get on, but couldn't get the video working on their computer. My father-in-law actually got on his Android phone with a little talking through. So I think it's more an issue of overcoming the fear of trying it and making it work, and then trying to simplify the instructions. And for some of us tech geeks, that's hard. You know, trying to take something that is fairly technical and make it down to something that's understandable by other people, and that's always a challenge.
Yep, the great divide. So Nicole, you're gonna proceed with your resource?
Is everybody seeing the district website that I'm sharing? Does everybody see that?
I see Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zoom join a meeting.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. I'm on the district website. Are you not?
So Nicole, if you go under, when you share a screen, you go under share, it'll give you the option of sharing your full screen or individual windows. So you evidently selected the Zoom window login as a part of that. That's the window we're seeing, is Zoom Cloud Meeting, that pop-up window that it gets to when you try to join a meeting. Might be better to share the full screen maybe for this.
Let's see.
Now we see you.
You see me. Okay. For some reason, it's not pulling up. I had it in my Google. Bruce, it's only showing me the Zoom Cloud Meeting when I go to the share options.
You sure that's the only thing that's giving you?
Yeah, and in the whiteboard and the iPhone.
Okay,
Pulling up the Rotary district website, Bruce.
I can do that. Give me just a second here.
And I opened up the options for multiple to share screens. And it's still, for some reason, yeah.
I know, this is Dan. Well, they're working on this. I think this is a classic example of we will have some challenges with Zoom, and I think it would be great to make sure that we're getting the downtown Sioux Falls Facebook Live information out to the Rotarians, and then possibly the next step might be using WhatsApp as a group texting if we're going to learn something. Something new, but those are both great resources, and the Facebook Live would be a great way to introduce people to doing Rotary together. I'll get off now.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Good point. Yeah, there are other web video conferencing apps, and Zoom is just the one the district has. There are other methods. Facebook Live is an example. So
There's
yeah,
also
that's something that we'll need to explore.
probably the other free one that's easiest to use is Google Hangouts. There's also freeconferencecall.com has a web version. It's free, so there's lots of options. But you know, Zoom is one of the easier ones to use.
Bruce, can you scroll up a little bit there till we get to some of the? We've posted together some resources for your clubs. The first story there where it's saying staying connected video tutorial on joining a Zoom meeting, that is basically just a link that there you could share when you do an actual invite, if you're the president doing it, or if you have somebody that's tech savvy possibly in your club that is working alongside with the president. You can share that video link with them, and it's a 1 minute.
We will be going over how to join
for your members to learn how to either download Zoom and to join the meeting. And keep in mind that even some will be wanting to join by video. Some may not be able to. Some may have an older computer. Maybe they may just join by phone. So there, when you do an invite, they have the option to just join by a phone number and meeting code as well. The second one there, Bruce, if you can scroll up just a little bit, and there is a paper guide there as well in that story that Bruce had put together for joining if they prefer to print the paper guide off as members and join that way as well. And then if we go to the second story there we have, it's called Staying Connected. It is a 38-minute webinar produced by Zoom. It's very detailed. It basically introduces you to the Zoom plans. There is a free version. It's a basic plan for your clubs. I'm hoping to do that basic plan with my family members. I'm kind of missing seeing them. So again, it's free. The only limitation, and I've heard that possibly that limitation maybe has been lifted, is a 40-minute limitation per Zoom call. So yes, this is, you can stop this video at any time as well throughout. If you miss something that she said, rewind, go forward, just by clicking on that link. She also introduces how to, step-by-step, how to schedule that meeting in Zoom. I forgot one thing on the Zoom plans. If you don't want to go with the free version and you have a large club and anticipate some large attendance, you might or want to go longer or have more options, you can go with some of their other plans. And through Rotary Rewards, each Rotary member and or clubs can get a 20% discount. And that, just remember to put in that promo code Zoom Rotary. That will not be in that video. So just write that down if you are thinking of purchasing a Zoom account. Zoom Rotary is
all caps.
Yep, all caps.
So one other thing, Nicole, to jump in here on the free Zoom accounts are actually the free accounts allows up to 100 participants, same as the standard pro plan does. The other big difference is that I believe it's still in effect. For now, at least, they've shut off phone dial-in on the free accounts because it was overloading their phone systems because so many doing that. So if you want to allow people to dial in, you need to have a paid account as of now. That's a fairly new restriction. I don't know if it'll stay that way or go away. Yeah, I don't know if they've waived the time limit or not. I can't imagine they've waived it, but I think they may have extended it to 45 minutes instead of 40. I think I saw something. So just be aware the free plan is pretty full functionality except for the time limit and the phone dial in. And I think online storage of recorded meetings as well. I don't think you get that or as much of that with the free account.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you. I forgot those. You had mentioned those yesterday. Thank you. And so below that, if you scroll up a little bit as well, in that same story with the 38-minute webinar, you can click on the photo to get to it. And then if you can scroll up just a little bit more for Bruce. Oh, there we go. Okay, and down below, down in the second one, yep, scroll up. There we go, or I'm maybe saying it wrong. There are some additional tools there. And this is, in those tools, there are mentions of different avenues other than Zoom as well. So each of those, seeing is believing, Linda provided some information on that, tips to holding an online meeting. And we received a good shared document from another district on maintaining engagement during this time. Chuck provided a good blog post on what is Zoom. And then there is also a Zoom meeting paper reference guide versus the video. So there's some tools there. We are here at the district to help anybody to try to get their meeting up and running as well. We've had some contacts that they're planning on doing it. One item in here also is in the middle of that story, is a documentation step-by-step on how to create a group email to your club members through Club Runner as well. If you have not done that in the past, many of you probably already have, but just in case you haven't. So the one video is fairly lengthy, but she goes in really good detail.
Thank you, Nicole. And we're just a few minutes over our scheduled meeting time. I want to thank everyone for showing up. And it's so important to stay connected, and it's so important to continue to do service. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay connected, and continue with your purpose. Have a great day. Thank you.